What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Clark Griswold YouTube channel. Thank you guys for being here today. I am happy to be bringing you guys yet another video, another watch list for the beginning of the week. Guys, if you are new to this channel, new to the strat, new to trading, or if you're struggling with trading, we are about to change everything for you guys. We are about to take you from where you are to where you need to be. That is the point of this channel. But the very first thing I need you guys to do is go down below, click that subscribe button, and then hit that bell. That bell gives you the notifications for when I send out videos just like this one every single day for you guys for free. Okay, so this is our watch list for Monday, August 15th. I send them out every day. I send out top fives for you guys every day. I send out weekly swing lists, monthly swing lists. There is a weekly swing list coming out. If it's not out already, it will be. If you're on Twitter, you can find me there as well, at Mr. Clark Griswold. So go hunt me down, add me there. If you have questions, comments, you can tweet at me, you can DM me, ask away. I will help you guys out. You can also do the same thing below in any one of my YouTube videos. I've got 300 plus videos for you guys to learn how to trade this strategy, how to trade the strat, how to become consistent at it, how to become profitable at it, and how to become a happy trader and be able to go where you want to go with your trading. Okay, I'm also on my Discord. I have a Griswold Trading Discord. Everything I have to offer you guys, free or fee-based, is on that Discord. Whether it's merchandise, the Griswold Gold membership, the TradingView indicator, the live trading bots, one-on-ones, merchandise, anything is on that Discord. So there's a link in the description below. Go click on that link. It'll take you to that Discord. Jump in there and let's learn and earn together. A couple of things before we get started here, guys. Number one, this platform that I use here to chart, the screen that you're looking at, is called TradingView. If you have not used a platform like this before and you are looking for one, go down to the link in the description below. That link will give you a free 30-day trial to one of their subscription-based services, free for 30 days. And then if you decide to use one of those services, you will get up to $30 off of your subscription, depending on which one you choose. I use the Pro Plus personally. I enjoy it. I think TradingView is great. So if you want to try it out free for 30 days, you've never used TradingView before, go down, click the link, and get started on this. One other thing I want to go through is the ads. Guys, I know the ads suck. Nobody likes them. They're annoying. Those ads pay for this stuff to be free, okay? It keeps your money in your pockets. I ask one thing in return for me putting these videos out for you guys every single day is let those ads roll through, because those ads, like I said, pay to keep this stuff free. It prevents me from putting them on the Discord in a paid channel where you have to pay to watch them, and I don't want to have to do that. I put a lot of time and effort into this stuff, and the way you guys can repay me is to just let those ads roll through. So when they pop up, go get a drink, go get a snack, come back, and we'll rock through the top plays for Monday, August 15th. Okay, let's get started, guys. The first one I've got on the list, and guys, listen, there are, I should say guys and gals, I know there's a ton of lady followers, women followers. Thank you, guys. Thank you to the guys as well. I appreciate all of you guys, because I don't know if I would still be doing this if I didn't have the response that I've gotten from you guys. So thank you very much. But there are a ton of plays on this list. So we'll go through this and then we'll break down a top five in a different video. There are a ton of inside bar plays. So I'm going to have a difficult time breaking down which five I think are the best. But let's start with AMD. So AMD has an inside bar. I'm going to go through this for the people who are new. Inside bars, okay, or one bars. The Griswold Strat indicator, which you cannot find in the indicator tab, okay? You can find it in the link in the description below. You can find it on Twitter. There's a video showing you guys everything that's included, or you can find it on my Discord, okay? It's a paid indicator. It's $25 one-time fee. Anytime I add something to it, you guys don't pay an extra cent. It's one time, 25 bucks. You have the indicator for life. The indicator will give you these candlestick numbers. It also paints these inside bars, these one bars, yellow. So they're very, very easy for you guys to spot. It also gives you the IB tab on top, along with a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so inside bars, I want to talk about this for a bit. Inside bars do not break the high, and they do not break the low of the previous candle. This is the previous candle right here. That red candle, it doesn't break the high and it does not break the low. It stays within the range, and it's a tightening range and it's a consolidating range. And when you see those yellow bars, when you have this indicator, when you see those yellow bars, I want you guys to think of a spring becoming loaded or something tightening and getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And when you let that thing go and it explodes to one direction or the other, that's what we're looking for on these inside bars. Now we can go back in time, and I'll always do this with you guys to show you that it doesn't always work. Like this inside bar, we had a gap down. So the trigger becomes nullified, and then we play the gap. Now if we go to try to find another inside bar, here's one here, okay? So we triggered, we didn't hit targets, but we had some really good profit here. Okay, this one here, we triggered, not quite targets, but we had some really good profit here. Okay, this one again, triggered, and it wasn't that great. So they don't always work out, and that's what I want to point out to you guys. They don't always, nothing in the market is certain. Nothing that we talk about here is 100% for sure. It's not some magic thing that's going to make you guys rich and wealthy in a matter of one play. Okay, it's consistently doing the same things over and over and over and over again that is going to lead you guys to be profitable and consistent traders. Again, this one here was an inside bar, and we opened as a gap above it. Okay, so that one wouldn't have worked. Here's one. We opened here, we came down, we triggered, and we hit targets. And guys, for the most part, the candlesticks tell you what to do. Okay, if we put two lines here, so this candlestick, this inside bar is telling you, and you know what, I'll go do it on a different, at the start. Okay, but I just wanted to go through these inside bars to show you guys that probabilities tell us that they work in most cases. So this is why this is the easiest strategy that you guys can use. Now, when I play this, I jump in on these triggers on the daily. I follow my targets on the daily, but I hop down to the 5-minute once this triggers, and that's how I manage my trade. Okay, some guys do it on the 15, some guys do it on the 30. I like to do it on the 5. If you go watch any of my review videos, it'll run down exactly how I trade every single play. Okay, every single time. Okay, this inside bar, this candlestick right here is telling us a story. It's telling us that if we break to the low side, you can buy puts right here. If I break to the high side, buy calls right here. If I hit these targets, sell me. If I hit this target on the way down, sell me. And the same thing happens, and again, you have to go watch the review videos because I'm not going to show it on here, but when we hop down to the smaller time frames, if this thing reverses, the candlesticks will tell you. They'll tell you when to get out. You just have to follow the story that they are portraying to you, okay? And it really is that simple. You don't need all these indicators. My chart here is very clean. Outside of these broadening formations and these trigger and target lines that I don't have anything else. Okay, these blue and purple lines, that's part of the Griswold Strat indicator. That's giving me the 50% markers. These aren't RSIs or MACDs that are saying, oh, when these lines cross, jump in, and when these lines cross, you can jump out. We don't have any of that. We let the candlesticks tell us the story, okay? They tell us the story, we listen to the story, and we follow what the story says. So AMD, we can take calls at 101.40. Puts at 98.48. Again, as I always tell you guys, this time frame on the daily and the weekly, the hourly is whatever it is going to be in the morning, but this daily and this weekly are brand new on Monday. So we have to let them open up to see which direction these are going. We already have the month and the quarterly to the upside direction. So if this goes to the upside, we also have these pink lines here. So those pink lines, you'll see them on the charts continuously as we go through this. We go to the weekly. The weekly has an inside bar on AMD. So those pink lines represent the triggers for the weekly, okay? And it's always like that on every single one of my videos. So if we target to the trigger to the upside, our first target is our trigger for the weekly on AMD. So you can possibly look to take this a little longer. AMD expiry dates are probably on Friday, I believe is what they are. So if you wanted to hold this a little longer because we bust through here and you think you can get more profit, all the power to you. Do that. Now you're in a swing trade, okay? And it's really that simple. If we trigger on the day, we're likely to trigger on the week to the upside. Okay, and the same thing happens to the downside. There's our first target, there's our second target. Our third target is our trigger for the weekly to the downside. Okay, and there's a bunch of setups just like this one. As I said, there are a ton of inside bars here, guys. This is not one of them. This is a 2 down that finished green. So we only passed the bottom of the previous candle, this inside bar, and then we reversed back up. So it's a failed 2. It's a 2 down that finished green. And this doesn't really matter for the color. We're looking for a reversal back to the upside with, look at this, full time frame continuity on GME, the month, quarterly, and the yearly. If we trend up on this 1, 2 down, 2 up reversal, 1, 2, 2 reversal, then we are looking really great if we trigger here because we've got full time frame continuity. Okay, so that's one of the things we want to look at. There is some conflict if we go to the weekly, because the weekly is showing that we are looking for a 2 down reversal, but not saying that's going to happen. We'll see which one happens first. We could have a 2 up day, we could have a 2 down day. We'll see what happens with GME. Palantir is up next, PLTR, inside bar on Palantir. I'm not going to go through these much more. We've already discussed the inside bars and how they work. Okay, so calls at 997, puts at 943. The targets are marked out. We also have an inside bar. You can see by the 2 pink lines on the weekly for Palantir, so pay attention to that as well. Activision, not something I usually like to have on here, but Activision, guys, has a triple inside bar. Okay, inside bar 1 stays within this range. Inside bar 2 stays within this range. Inside bar 3 stays within this range. So what's happening here, and I'll show you real quick, this to this to this, okay? We have this tightening range here. And this is essentially what we're looking at. Okay, so it's trading within here and it's ready to break out. So we're either breaking to the high side or the low side. It's very, very unlikely that we would have a 4th day of consolidation on here, okay? So we'll look for Activision to break out. It can go one of 2 ways. We can break to the high side with time frame continuity, okay? Full time frame right across the board if we go to the upside. First target's at 81.13. Now again, I don't know what the premiums are on this. I don't know what the spread between the bid and the ask is on Activision. I just thought it was a triple inside bar. I was going to have it on here for you guys to take a look at. Okay, we also have on the week, if we go to the week, there's our inside bar on the week. Okay, so that's important as well, because if we can trigger both ways here, when we can hit targets 1 and 2, and maybe we just stay inside week next week. Maybe we don't break out of that range, but I think we probably do. I don't think we get a double inside bar next week on Activision. So we'll see. We have our targets marked out. We have the triggers marked out for the weekly. We'll see how this plays out. This purple and this blue line are the monthly. The blue is the monthly. So that monthly is old, so we'll take that one off of there. But that quarterly is not. So when we go to that quarterly, we've already gone 2 up off of the inside bar on the quarterly. We go to the monthly. We've gone 2 up on the monthly already. We go to the weekly. Are we going to go 2 up on the week? We'll see. Okay, 2-1-2 continuation. And then on the day, are we going to have that continuation to the upside on the day on Activision? So we'll see what happens again on Monday. Lucid, one of the plays I really enjoy playing because the spreads are tight. We've got this 2 down, finish green, hammer candle. Okay, so we can look for calls at 1870. First target, second target, and then we have this trigger on the weekly. And we'll go through these weekly plays in a different video, guys. But we have this 3-2 down that finished green. We're going to look for a 3-2-2 reversal. We have great time frame continuity. So we'll see what happens with Lucid on Monday. Chewy. So we go to Chewy. Chewy has a 2 down that finished green, hammer candle. Calls at $50.11. First target at $51.87. EW. Again, 2 down green, hammer candle. And again, hammer candles are just, they have this body with this big long wick. It looks like a hammer or a Thor hammer. Okay, so we call it a hammer candle. And again, we had this 2 up red, then we had this 2 down green. So this would have been the play to the downside yesterday or on Friday. And you would have been able to take some profit there. but we didn't hit target. So now we're a 2 down that finished green. We're going to look to go back to the upside, okay? And again, time frame continuity looks really good on EW. We can look for calls at 104.91, targets at 105.80. There are a lot of plays on here. This is going to be a long video. Bear with me, guys. We'll go through all of these, okay? Moderna. And you know what? Use this as a learning tool to really learn and get your eyes on the screen, because the more you look at this stuff, the more you watch this stuff, the better off you'll be. The quicker you'll learn it, the quicker you'll pick it up. Screen time, and I don't want you guys to spend hours upon hours upon hours on the screen, but the more you look at this stuff, the quicker you'll pick it. It'll become like reading or writing or breathing, right? You'll just look at it and you'll just see it. You'll just know, okay? So I have Moderna on here for a reason, and I have no idea why it's on here. We do have the weekly targets. I don't have any daily triggers on here, so we're going to just take those off, and we're going to take Moderna off of the daily, and we're going to move on to Teladoc, TDOC, inside bar on Teladoc. Okay, so calls 40.64, puts 38.35, these three. And again, guys, when I'm looking at day trades, realistically, this week, this month, and this quarterly don't matter as much as this daily and this hourly and everything beyond it or behind it. Okay, I want these two to be green if I'm jumping into a trade. If I'm jumping into a trade to the upside. If this week is green, bonus. If the month is green, bonus. If the quarterly is green, it's an extra bonus. And when I say bonus, I mean it just is giving the trade a higher probability that it is going to work out in our favor, okay? And that's all I mean. But we like to see as many as we can, but for me, on the day trades, because I'm only in a trade for realistically an hour or an hour and a half. So this hourly and this daily, as long as they're going in the direction of my trade, I'm okay. And then, like I said, anything after that is just more probability that the trade works out in our favor. So that's TDOC. CCL, again, inside bar on CCL. We can take calls at 10.79, puts at 10.45. I want to go to the monthly to look at this blue line here, because that is probably, there it is, inside bar. So we are looking to go 2 up on the month. Okay, 2, 1, 2 reversal. 2 down, inside bar 1, 2 up. This is a live candle for August, okay? So if we go back to the daily, if we trigger and hit targets and a little bit more, we are going to go 2 up on the month, okay? And then you can see here we've drawn this broadening formation, okay? And we've gone higher highs to lower lows to higher highs to lower lows, came back up, not quite to the higher highs, back down, and now we're going back up again. So we'll see if we can come up into this range and tag the top of that broadening formation for CCL. Okay, CRM. Let's zoom in so you guys get a better look at this. CRM, 2 down green. We are at the top of a broadening formation though, so we'll see what happens there. Calls at 190.09, and then we do have this trigger to the downside on the week. So we'll see how that plays out. Next up, we've got Disney. Disney's got an inside bar, so we can take calls on Disney at 121.61, puts at 118.98. Our targets are marked. Then we have this target to the downside, okay? This target is at the top of the candle because there is no candle in between here. It's called a gap. So when we have that gap, our next target is the top of the candle. So again, time frame continuity on Disney on the higher time frames looks really great. So if we go to the upside, that's a high probability trade for us, okay? Etsy is up next, ETSY, inside bar on Etsy. And again, time frame the same thing as we looked on Disney. Calls at 120.19, puts at 115.81, and then our targets are marked accordingly. IWM. I think IWM should not be on there, so we are going to take that one off because it is already a 2-up green. Now, I shouldn't have taken off there. It's still on there. Okay, so regardless of this being a 2-up green, we can still look for a reversal here, guys. Okay, I don't care what this color is. If you like playing IWM, then you can look for a reversal back to the downside here. And when you look at this reversal, the hourly, the daily, and the weekly will all be red. Okay, so you can take this day trade if we trigger to the downside. The reason I only look at two ups being red and looking for those plays is because it's a higher probability that they come back down. Nothing saying that anything that has a two up green cannot go two down red on the next candle, because that is a very realistic possibility. We're not saying that that can't happen, but when I set out the plays for you guys, I look for the two up reds. Here's a perfect example. This was a two up red. We would have called for this to come back to the downside, but it just continued to go up, and you could have played a 2-2 continuation there if you would have liked. But here's another one. This one was a 2 up, and again, it went down. So you could have taken that trigger and rode this all the way down. There was your first target, plus a little more. Okay? We went through Etsy. Let's go through Nflx. Nflx. So Nflx has an inside bar, calls at 249.37, puts at 243.70. Let's mark that first target. We'll put that in green. And there is your setup for Nflx. Again, time frame continuity outside of the year is all green. Nike, inside bar, calls 116.13, puts 113.77. Time frame, the same as everything else, all green outside of the year. Pinterest, inside bar, and that's a tight little inside bar, so we can look for a play here. Calls at 23.60, puts at 23.05. Good magnitude to either direction on Pinterest. Magnitude meaning our targets, okay? Our pivot points, our magnitude, they all mean the same thing. Okay, that's Pinterest. PayPal, PYPL, inside bar on PayPal. We can look for calls on PayPal at 101.78, puts at 100.08. Targets to the upside are not great. We have to go a little bit further back to mark out other targets. So we can mark that one out. And then we can mark out one more. Not there. Top of the wick. There we go. There's your targets marked out for PayPal. Okay, next up, Roku. Roku, 2 down green, hammer candle. I'm going to zoom in for this for you guys so you can see it a little better. There we go. Okay, 2 down, hammer candle. We're going to look for calls at 84.54, good magnitude to the upside. Time frame, again, exactly the same as everything else. SE is up next. SE, we can call that a hammer candle. 2 down green, calls at 89.05, and our first target's marked out at 93.70. Space, SPCE. 2 down green, calls at 7.20. We also have a trigger for the weekly. So if we trigger on the day and hit targets, we also will trigger on the weekly to the upside for space. And then we've got this big gap to fill all the way up to here. Okay. Next up is Target, TGT. Target has an inside bar, hammer candle. Okay. 212 continuation is what realistically I'd like to see there. Calls at 172.48. First target's at 173.07. Or we can take it to the downside as noted here. Meta, also known as Facebook, with an inside bar, calls at 181.46, puts at 178.90 on Facebook. Excuse me, guys. American Airlines, 3-1 setups. Okay, we haven't talked about these yet. Outside bars painted white by the Griswold Strat indicator. Also gives you this yellow, this golden highlight over top of them. Okay, a rare pattern, and it is usually highly profitable. So outside bar, inside bar, 3-1-2 to the upside, and we have triggers, targets. Great play on American Airlines on that 3-1. Let's go back and look at one more 3-1 setup. We can find them easily with the Griswold Strat indicator because they are highlighted in gold. Okay, outside bar, inside bar. You could have played a gap on this, but this was a really nice run down. 3-1, outside bar, inside bar. Look at this one. Boom. Okay. These are really great setups, guys. They're, like I said, they're highly profitable. This one ended up being an inside bar. We'll go look at one more here. There's a double inside bar, also part of the Griswold Strat indicator. It gives us these double inside bar notes. Okay. And here, there's the next one. Outside bar, inside bar, boom. Trigger, target, and that's it. Okay? That easy. This stuff is simple, guys. And if you think it's hard, just screen time. You will get it, you will understand it, and it will work out for you, okay? Next up, Airbnb. Airbnb with an inside bar. We're going to run through these a little bit faster now. Calls 125, puts 121.15. AMC 2 up red, so we can look for puts at 23.98. First target's marked out there. Amazon with an inside bar hammer candle. We'll look for calls at 143.55, puts at 140.11. BA 3-1 setup, guys. These things are great plays. Plus we have the inside bar on the weekly, noted by the pink bars here, and this yellow circle tells me that it's an inside bar on the week. Just like this inside circle tells me it's an inside bar on the day. Another part of the Griswold Strat indicator, okay? Last time we had a 3-1 setup. That one was an inside bar. Let's go look real quick and then we'll move on. There, found it with the golden highlight. Okay, outside bar, inside bar, boom. Triggered. Just shy of targets, but that, again, was a really, really good trade on BA. Next up, BIDU. 2 down green. Realistically, guys, I could have just done inside bars on this, but I'm going to give you some of the reversal setups as well. Calls at 140.52, first target marked out at the top. Citigroup has a 2 down that finished green hammer candle. Okay, and we're on our way to the top of this broadening formation. Full time frame to the upside, 54.39 for the calls. And this goes way, way back. I've got a lot of lines on here. I'm going to have to delete and rework this stuff. But I think we continue up higher on Citigroup. We'll see what happens next week. But we've got a Momo hammer to get us there. Okay. Citigroup. CL, Colgate Palmolive, inside bar, calls 80.51, puts 79.59. And again, inside bar on the week. We have triggers for the weekly as well to take this thing long. CVX has a 2 down that finished green. That's a thick hammer, but we can call it a hammer candle. Calls at 159.92. Check this out. We go to the weekly. Double inside bar on the week for Chevron, okay? I think, did Citigroup also have that? It didn't. There's another one. There was another double inside bar, I think, on the weekly. You'll see it on the weekly vid, though. Double inside bar on Chevron on the week, okay? So watch for that. We head back to the day. 2 down, finish green. We're going to look for this thing to trend back to the upside. CVX. DocuSign, 2 down green, hammer candle, call 74.77. We are already 2 up on the month. Fubo has an inside bar hammer candle. Calls 4.55, puts 4.11. We can call this a hammer candle if we want. Inside bar on Goldman Sachs. Calls 3.54.56, puts at 3.50.10. KDP, that's Keurig Dr. Pepper, tight little inside bar. I like this one. It's actually a 3-1 setup, okay? Here's our last 3-1 setup. We opened, triggered, target, okay? Beautiful, beautiful play on Keurig Dr. Pepper off of this 3-1 setup. So again, calls at 39.33, puts at 39.07. We'll look for this one on Monday. Coca-Cola, KO, 3-1 setup as well. So calls at 63.75, puts at 63.09 as marked out. We also have a 2 up we're looking for on the weekly on Coca-Cola. Lululemon, higher premiums, but we have an inside bar there, 322.90, puts at 317.13. We go into Lyft. Lyft has a 2 down that finished green, hammer candle, calls at 1948, conflict on the weekly with Lyft, so we'll see which direction that goes on Monday. MGM, inside bar. Let's mark this out because it's not. Puts at 34.79. And we'll make this yellow. Calls at 35.64 on MGM. We also have an inside bar on MGM Grand, noted by the 2 pink lines and the yellow circle on the Griswold Strat indicator. Marble, inside bar, calls 55.59, puts 54.18. Inside bar, yes, 3-1 setup on Procter & Gamble. And this is a hammer candle inside bar. We can look for calls at 146.73, puts at 144.98. What's the last 3-1 setup? and it'd be a couple outside bars. Next one after that, and then we'll move on. Outside bar, inside bar, boom. Okay? Big time setup there. Next up, Roblox Rblx. Roblox had a 2 down that finished green. Excuse me. We can look for calls on this one at $51.46. Zoom in on this. Snap inside bar. Calls at 11.64. Puts at 11.13. SoFi hammer candle. 2 down green hammer candle. Okay. Calls at $7.70. We do have triggers for the weekly on either end of this thing, so you can watch SoFi to break out of that inside bar. Twitter, inverse hammer, okay? Just means it's an upside down hammer or a shooter, we can call it. Calls at 44.60, puts at 43.92. Upstart inside bar, calls 35.19, puts 31.72. XOM inside bar on XOM, calls at, let's move that down because it's not quite right. Calls at 94.04, puts at 92.12. We've got our targets marked out. We also have, if we trigger to the upside, hit first targets, we are triggering long on the weekly on XOM. XOP inside bar, that's a fat hammer candle. I wouldn't call that a hammer candle, but we have full time frame continuity, guys, if this thing trends to the upside. So calls at 140.34, puts at 137.04. Our first target is, it's quite high. Do we get there? I would say it is unlikely, improbable, but not impossible. Okay? It's a long ways to go, but it's very possible that it could get there, just not probable. Okay? INTC has an inside bar. We can take calls on INTC. Let's zoom in here for you guys. You can see that a little clearer. 36.14, first target is your trigger for the weekly on this thing. Or you can take puts at 35.67. XLV, this is a fat inside bar off of this 3-1 setup. We'll see what happens. Here's a couple other 3-1 setups that did not really work out on XLV. But we can take calls at 133.68, puts at 132.03. BABA, 2 down, finish green. We're going to look for calls at 94.82. And then again, we have our weekly triggers for the inside bar on the BABA weekly. Okay? LUV, Southwest Airlines, 3-1 setup. Here's the last 3-1 setup. Outside bar, inside bar, boom, to the upside. Great play off of that one. We'll see what happens with this one. With this outside, inside bar, 3-1 setup. Calls at 39.57, puts at 38.92. eBay, inside bar, actually a 3-1 setup. Where was the last 3-1 setup on eBay? Right here. Look at this one. Gapped and gone. Okay? And then this one here. Gap and gone. So again, maybe we have another gap here off of this 3-1 setup. And you guys play the gap. And you make some really good money. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe we just have a really nice trigger on this thing. And it ends up being a great play. So 3-1. It won't be on my top 5, guys. But it's something that you guys can watch. We also have an inside bar on the weekly on eBay, noted by the 2 pink lines again. And then we've got Qcom. So Qcom has this fat inside bar. I don't really like fat inside bars. I'd rather see tiny little inside bars. But we can look at this thing and take calls at, let me change that to yellow. And we'll change that to yellow. And we can take calls at 151.47, puts at 147.18. And again, part of the reason I don't like this, guys, is because this magnitude is not the greatest. And I would hate to see somebody jump in on this thing and have it become, hit targets and then reverse back down and then come right back through and be an outside bar. No, the thing is, you can play the Sarah Strat Sniper 50% rule. We've got that indicator on as part of the strat. Okay, so that's this right here. You can take it if you want it. But that's the last play, guys. If you found this video helpful, make sure you watch till the end. There's videos at the end you can click on. Learning tools, playlist, learning tools, beginner playlist. Everything that you guys need is on this channel or in the Discord, okay? So follow me on Twitter, subscribe, hit that like button, make sure you leave comments if you need to, and get in that Discord. And we will see you guys all on the next one. Bye-bye.